Welcome to Nugget 113 with Steve Groman, and today we're going to talk about
ants.
Oh my.
The Bible does say in Genesis, God said, "Let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, the cattle, the creepy thing, and the beasts of the earth after his kind." And it was so, and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good, so these creeping things God likes.
The ants have a lot of good work that they can do, but they also can create a little bit of
some
havoc.
trouble.
And I found that the word ant is only in the King James Bible one time. That is in Proverbs 6:6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Maybe the word ant is only in one place, but we do find the ant in day 6, just under another name.
And earlier this year, January 2020, Science News did an article about a molecular switch can alter an ant's job. Ants have certain jobs they do, as do bees and various things. They have a certain job that any given one will do, which is really kind of amazing when you think about it. The article goes on, when it comes to career paths, workers among carpenter ants split into castes. Some tackle defense, others forage for the colony. But these roles aren't predestined by DNA. An ant's career trajectory is influenced by other factors early in life, which is an amazing thing. The article just goes on talking about how they can inject into these ants and they can manipulate the DNA and such. It is an amazing thing. What it tells me is these guys are doing things on purpose to alter any given ant in its early life. But what that tells me is God made these things to develop into what it is they develop into. It's
I don't think it's probably a good idea. It's never a good idea to start messing with God's creation, and it's just sort of sad to me. God developed these ants and created them to be what they were supposed to be, and these evolutionary scientists are altering that.
That there are certain ants that do certain things, and they can manipulate one to do the other early in life. It just screams of the intelligent design of the ant and its development. Everything in development is fascinating when we really think about it. It could never happen as an accidental evolutionary accident.
Well, the thing that I think is bad is that these scientists in and of themselves, they're probably not realizing that they're doing something harmful or wrong, but it is not up to man to start changing and altering God's design.
Earth Magazine, way back in 1997, they found a fossilized ant nest. They say 160 million year old ant nest. The article starts out, a picnic in the park, even Jurassic Park wouldn't be complete without ants. We all kind of know that's true, right? But then they talk about the oldest known fossil of an ant dates to the middle of the Cretaceous period, about 90 million years ago. But surprising new fossils suggest ants have been around at least since Jurassic, 70 million years earlier. And that's another thing, too. I've mentioned this so many times that whatever is printed today as a fact and established, and they know it and they learn it, it'll be overturned in the future. They're constantly having to rewrite everything about what it is they say. But it is kind of interesting that they did find this ant nest.
Now it says, last November, biologist Stephen Hasiotis from the University of Colorado at Boulder reported he'd found a fossilized ant nest that's 160 million years old. The nest, discovered in the Morrison Formation in eastern Utah, contains narrow corridors that widen into chambers, structures similar to those found in today's ant nest. Well, isn't that exciting?
Isn't that amazing? It's just like the ones of today. Maybe there's no evolutionary mechanism involved here at all. Maybe it's not that old.
160, no 65, no 80 million years.
Right.
They just might have found a fossilized ant nest.
How about that?
And that's why it looks like the ant nest.
That's why it looks like
today.
an ant nest of today, because it is an ant nest.
We don't have to act surprised.
Right, and then they go talk about how they must have lived and when they changed and when they lived and how they lived. Anytime anybody sees anything to do with evolution, it is all the worldview of the person that is telling you about it. That's what it all is. But the Bible says God made the ants. God made all the creeping things, and they do what they're supposed to do. They reproduce after their kind.
What's sad is that ants are amazing.
They are.
And biologists, scientists should be able to talk about and write articles on the ants and how incredible they are and the diversification of the jobs. But these people have to put in evolution. They have to taint it with that. And that's what's sad, and that's what we want to point out.
And these ants, they don't go to ant university anywhere. They are born and they know what they're supposed to do. It's fascinating. They found a giant ant, a fossil in Wyoming, a giant ant the size of a small hummingbird. This thing is over 5 centimeters long, and they even go on in this article talking about how they're not supposed to have been that big, but yet they are.
Yes, they should have been that big.
Yes, they should have been that big. But anyway.
And hopefully by now all of you know how that ant would be so much bigger than the ants of today. It's simply a pre-flood ant.
Correct.
And the article goes on to say that this isn't the largest one ever found. A German fossil is slightly longer, as are queens of living African driver ants. Well, of course, they'd find one a little larger. They could probably dig around and find one even larger than that. We just have some pre-flood ants.
That's true, but it says at 5.1 centimeters long, a 49.5 million-year-old fossil ant queen from Wyoming is the size of a rufous hummingbird. Probably not 49.4, right?
Probably not.
I don't think it's even 49. But anyway, God made the ants. They do what they're supposed to do. They're absolutely amazing creatures. It's fun to watch an ant. They'll carry something so much larger than itself, it's unbelievable. Can't hardly get it there, but it gets it there. They do what they're supposed to do. They're fascinating.
So, as the Bible says in Proverbs 6:6, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you.